Welcome to the Security Bench, where we explore the evolving landscape of cybersecurity, technology, data, and AI. I am Durunke Uwolesho. From emerging threats and intelligence insights to leadership strategies and career navigation, we cover what matters in InfoSec today. Whether you're a seasoned professional, an aspiring cyber expert, or a leader shaping the future of security, this is your resource for staying ahead. Each episode, we dive into a different focus area. Our leadership bench discussions with industry veterans, cutting-edge threat intelligence analysis, trend spotlights on cyber and AI innovations, and of course, our Career Compass series, where we help professionals break into and advance in this domain. Today, we are bringing you Hired Heroes, cyber career stories, where we spotlight real people landing real jobs in cybersecurity. Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining our first episode of the Hired Heroes. It's a place where we talk about challenges and, of course, opportunities and people that are able to scale through. I have Prabhav Hayama, operations analyst. Today, we want to share his story. We want him to tell us how he navigated the market and how he's able to secure a position. So, Prabhav, good morning. Take it away. This is for you. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Duronke. Thank you so much for having me. And I didn't know that this is the pilot episode or the first episode, so I'm very much honored to be on the on your podcast. So thank you again for having me.
Of course, you are a hero. You are a hired hero. So it's only appropriate for us to have you as the first person. So tell me, we're going to start with you. First of all, I'm going to start with your last name. I know I've pronounced it as Hayamat, which sounds, English. Is that correct? Or is there a way I need to pronounce it better?
That is, in fact, if you want to break it down, it goes higher and math, but it is one of the regional Indian names. So it goes in a different way back there. So it is actually called Hiremat.
Okay, I'm going to practice for a little bit. Hiremat. Did I get that?
90%, yes.
Oh,
You nailed
cool. That's it. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks
So
a
first
lot.
of all, you're going to tell us, can you give me a little bit about your background and where you are in terms of your career journey? Because as you know, the market has been very, very challenging. I have so many people reaching out to me on LinkedIn, and these are not just new hires or new starters in the tech or cybersecurity field. We're talking across all, compartments, new hires, experienced people, or even people that are looking to pivot their careers. So please, can you give us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, absolutely. So surprisingly, and believe it or not, my background has not been in tech
Oh,
or cyber from the very beginning. So it is a non-linear path that I took. My journey actually started way back in 2008. So I've been working here and there since then. So it's actually in aviation where I started my career, in ground operations at the airport, working with airlines. So, but since then, whatever journey I have taken so far, every step of the way has taught me something, and in fact helped me to build the confidence to talk to people. So that confidence is something that will get you from place A to place B. That is one. We will talk about more on that. But from aviation, basically, I work with a couple of airlines. That's where people skills, coordination skills, analytical skills were started to grow up on me. My main goal or dream back then was to become a pilot, right? So that's where I talked to my manager and left the airline job, pursued the classes over there, and then, but because, as you may know, that airline pilot training is extremely expensive, no matter where you are, which country in the world. It is quite expensive, so I couldn't complete the entire training, but the, again, experience, the theory, the analytical skills, the theories, the studies that help you to grow that mindset, I was sure that it will help me somewhere down the line, right? It was not going to go wasted. So, and then after that, I wanted to do some masters again, continue my education. So instead of doing a regular MBA in different fields, after my graduation in aviation management, I pivoted into something again non-linear, non-regular MBA, which is into media and communications.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So after 2 years of MBA, even during the MBA course, it was small projects back then, here and there, talking to my professors, seeing what can be done. And then even did content writing back in 2015, just to keep myself occupied. So that was one of my main goal, is to do something or the other that will help me keep occupied. Small projects, volunteer, internships, right? So that got me going through my 2 years journey. And my career actually skyrocketed when I graduated, and after a small wait of searching jobs on my own, I got very extremely lucky to got an opportunity to work with Walt Disney, right?
Mm.
So into compliance, basically. So that was my full-time corporate first experience, first taste of the world, into content compliance. So there I was for 3.5 years, and then because of that experience, I got a job at Meta. So thanks to that experience, that 2.5 years or 3.5 years of experience, I was again extremely fortunate to get my um, foot in the door at Meta. Back then, it was still called Facebook. So that again skyrocketed my responsibilities, because I was the only one handling the entire ship over there. Like, I was the entire person handling one single Indian market. So that particular experience gave me the leadership skills for the very first time in my life, as to how you can handle challenging things. Of course, it wouldn't have been possible with my great coordination and support of my manager and head of department um, back here in the US, who were coordinating with me full time. So that was my first leadership skill, or the role, you can say. But because that was one challenge at Meta, that my role was so niche and so time bound, that it was contractual, and it had to end some way or the other, because I was hired as part of a consultant for them, right?
Mm.
So that experience unfortunately ended, uh, and I moved here from India to Canada as a permanent resident back in 2019. But I was extremely again fortunate to retain that job from Meta and still work out of Toronto office. But again, as I said, it was a niche role. So, and as I was a consultant, so it had to end my stint with Meta. But again, I was, talking to people. I was part of an exhibition where Meta was, I was representing Meta, by the way, and there was also Apple in that same arena. So I started talking with Apple fellows. So that's how talking to people solve a lot of my issues or problems. So people are your best solution to everything. Talking to people, networking, just getting to know them, getting to know the company. So I wasn't expecting that, okay, let me, I'll have to work with Apple. That was not my role. But just starting that conversation led me to work at Apple, right? From Meta to Apple. um, so the challenge was again the COVID time. So that was
Mm.
peak COVID time, and just before the entire world shut down, even Apple operations had to shut down the retail operations, and I was into retail operations at Apple for 4 years. Recently quit. So again, right from August 2021, when I joined Apple, there were multiple skill set, multiple experiences that helped me to be where I am right now. Because Apple, as a tech company, you get to taste the Apple ecosystem, but it also comes with a challenge of not going beyond Apple ecosystem, which is what most of your IT and cyber industry is. right? So again, we can touch base more on that. So as you saw, my role, my career has been non-linear, kind of a roller coaster ride, ups and downs with various experiences, skill sets, challenges. But as I said, and as you rightly pointed out at the beginning, somewhere or the other, every single experience comes in handy at some point of life, some point in your life. So that's what happened with me. It took a while. Yeah, there were a lot of frustrations, there were a lot of challenges,
And
difficulties.
we're going to talk about that. What
Yeah.
I wanted to highlight here is that it seems you have very strong people skills on networking based on the path you've shown me, from one to the other. And of course, your background is most unusual, right?
Yeah.
I know we're going to a point here because we're talking about your career today. I can see you're coming from aviation management, and then you move to communications, right? So, and now we're going to an ultimate goal right where you are now. So that's quite interesting. And I think we'll come to that. The question I want to ask you though, um, has there been any challenge, or maybe perhaps I could let you talk about this new role you are in? And then if you can share with our listeners, what are the challenges? What were the things that you faced that you think helped you, or you think the skills you've gathered, because you just told me now your experience at Apple, right, gave you your leadership roles, leadership skills, and of course your takeaway from Meta. All these things are packaged together to form who Prebav is today. So can you, maybe you want to tell us about how you got to this new role, and then you tell the listeners about the challenges you faced in the area.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would be more than happy to share the exact journey of where I'm right now, of landing a role in IT or cyber, is again because of networking. So again, I didn't have any formal education here in Canada, which employers mostly look for or value. And I didn't want to go that way because again, it goes into debt and everything. So I really wanted to see how far I can go without going that way. So back then, when I started learning cyber on my own, which is almost 2.5 years ago, it was all self-learning, all basic certifications, reaching out to people on LinkedIn, trying to see what's happening in cyber community, especially in Toronto, because I saw and I realized and also learned that it's a huge thing in Toronto when it comes to cybersecurity and networking. All I could hear was networking, networking, networking from different people. You have to talk to people, and it's not what you know, but it's whom you know or who you know that will help you most of the times in getting a role. So that's what happened. I started attending this event in Toronto. It's not just one, come what any event where I could give my presence, I was there basically. And I started meeting the same set of people in different events, and people started recognizing me, right? And people started knowing me. Hey, I know you from the last event, or I know, or I saw your post on LinkedIn about recap. So what I did was, it's not just attending the event, but what you got out of that event and how you can relate to what you have been learning and what you have been doing in your current job. Combine it, everything, mix it up, make it a recipe, and then show it to the world that what you know, how you analyze things. So that's where your analytical mindset also kicks in, right? So everything you have to combine and see which component of your past will gel the best with your current situation, and then put it out. So learning and connecting with people, and talking to people to see what you can do. I also spoke to a lot of people on LinkedIn with like coffee chats as to what I can do with my current skill set, with my past experience, how I can do that. Again, it all boils down to, again, networking, talking to people. Yes, there will be hundreds and hundreds of rejections, as the economy is. Employers are looking for specific skill set, but it shouldn't discourage you. It shouldn't be the end of the world. Just keep trying. I know it takes a lot of toll on your health, your mental health, your stability, but if you have a strong mindset, it should help you. So again, it all, as I said, whom you know, the right set of people. It's not just any random folks that can help you, but of course, one thing can lead to another. You just have to be professional all the time. No, you don't know who is looking at you. You never know what skill set will be noticed by and how opportunity will present itself to you. So again, keep your eyes open. And again, sorry, I circling back to your question as to how I got this is because of, again, this networking. I met my senior director right now at one of these events, and I saw his post that he got in very recently, like less than 8 months ago. So I started looking for that company, started researching about that company. And one day I saw a post, I believe from him, or a generic post, that this is what the availability is. And I reached out to him, and he already knew me, again, because of that event, right? So it's not that we are talking to strangers. So he knew me. So that is one main advantage of going to that event, that people started recognizing you. So you can take advantage and pivot the conversation from, hey, how you can help me, to, hey, can you help me now? I saw this role I'm interested in. Can you help me out here? And then he had referred me, and that's where things started rolling in, interviews and all. So few months, like couple of months down the line, there was, I was able to land this roles.
Fantastic. That's a beautiful story. I can see that. So I believe your contact or the director must have seen that genuine interest, because it's not just like, oh, I want this role. He has seen you in events, this and that. So take away. I know we're talking of Toronto now. Our listeners are from all over the world. But are there specific events that you may recommend for people? What kind of meetups do you think, if you have maybe a couple of them, I think it will be beneficial to us?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you talk about generic events, cybersecurity focused events, or any tech events, there are a lot of them, especially in the Toronto region or GTA region. So one of them is TASK, TASK. It stands for Toronto Area Security Clutch. The good thing about this is, if you're unable to attend this in person, they live stream on Discord. So this event happens every last Wednesday of each month. So no matter if it is 28, 29, or even 22 or 23, the last Wednesday of each month, task is held. It's a generic cybersecurity focused event, catered to all sorts of audience, no matter where you are in your IT or cybersecurity journey. If you are willing to learn something from speakers, it is for you. Best thing is, it's free. You don't need even any registration. You just walk into the hall, sit and enjoy some pizza and coke, while speaker is trying to enlighten you with their own knowledge and different topics. So that is the first, I believe, the regular event I started following and attending right from, I believe, January onwards, or I think December onwards. And it has been regular, almost 90% for me attending. It's a very great event. You will feel comfortable, and you will not be feeling left out in that. So that's where I met this senior director of mine. A lot of other folks who are hiring are also in that event. So the best part, again, is before even the first speaker starts talking, the host actually opens up to the audience if someone is hiring. So when someone raises their hand, so you exactly know after the event whom to go to talk to if you are someone who is looking for a job. So you can start talking to that person, see what skill sets they are looking for, what kind of experience they're looking for, right? So it's basically in the evening from 6 p.m. onwards, 6 to 8 p.m. in Toronto. It is mostly held at Toronto Metropolitan University campus. If you visit their website, you will come to know all the details. Also, they are very much active on LinkedIn, so all the details you should be able to get them. Second event is if you are specific about a particular area in cybersecurity, you can also attend this specific event called Threat Modeling Connect, which I'm also a part of. So whoever wishes to be interested in this can either reach out to me, or you can just reach out to the LinkedIn page or follow their website. It's called Threat Modeling Connect. It is specifically for threat modeling. It's an area which is not mostly talked about in the industry yet. It's kind of a niche area, but if you are really, really focused on doing this part of the cybersecurity, this is something where you can get your hands on. And this is where I actually stood out, right? So I wanted to do something of my own, and I started doing community events, a lot of community events, or volunteering, as it is called here in Canada. So I spoke to this chapter leader on LinkedIn, and I reached out to him, and I just showed interest that I want to be a part of this. So that's where I got to be one of the directors or leadership positions in Threat Modeling Connect. So I think once I'll also give out the LinkedIn, so you can reach out to me, or just visit their website. So yeah, so you have Task, you have Threat Modeling Connect, and you have B Sides Toronto. B as in B, the capital letter B, and Sides, B Sides Toronto. Then you have Sector, which happens. We just recently concluded, by the way, just I think less than a week ago. So these are annual based events. So Sector also is always conducted towards the end of each year. You can always go explore and see what are the things that are currently happening in the cybersecurity industry. If you have some money that you can gather, you can also attend these briefing sessions that talk about AI, cloud, cybersecurity, agentic AI. So a lot of events in Toronto. Then you have Tech Toronto Week that happens, I think, towards end of each year. What else? Other than events, you can also start listening to podcasts, is what I believe that can help you out. You never know what kind of information you will come to know, or how you can pivot from just attending events to actually listening to podcasts, cybersecurity focused podcasts, and reaching out to people from those podcasts, and see how things go. So yeah, and if you are just curious to know how many events are going on, I'll ensure you there are something or the other happening in Toronto every single month. So yeah, just keep your eyes open. Just Google cybersecurity events. The best place would be on platforms like Event Meetup, right? So and you can just search for cybersecurity events on that.
Wow, thank you so much. That's so packed. I was listening. And by the way, I'm also part of the TMC Threat Modeling Connect in Toronto. And thank you for Task, Claude, so many things. I believe our listeners will benefit. And this is really, really packed. I'm impressed. I know your current role is Network Operations Administrator. Briefly, that's the role you got. Can you tell us maybe briefly how all your background, I mean, all these things you've listed, your aviation, you have an MBA in communications, you are always circling all these cybersecurity events in Toronto, you're part of the threat modeling. Is that not a tall order for someone that is looking to, do they have to do all of these things, or how can you? I know the market is very challenging right now, and at the same time, people have other responsibilities. How do you think they'll be able to manage, these events or these meetups? Or how can you give us maybe a quick tip, and hopefully we'll benefit from it?
Yeah, absolutely. And the answer is no, you don't have to necessarily do all these things or follow all the steps to the point. This is all coming down to your individual personality. And one main question is how bad you want,
Okay.
right? That is the first question and the only question that you have to keep in mind and start working towards that in order to come up with an answer for that question is to how bad you want a particular role. It doesn't have to be cybersecurity focused role. It doesn't have to be a cloud focused role. It doesn't have to be an AI focused role. Yes, these things will come eventually to you, because in tech the good thing is one thing is related to another, and it is always easy to navigate from one position to another once you get a tech role. It doesn't matter whether it is data analytics, whether it is IT support, or it's a help desk, or it is even cloud computing. It is very very normal to pivot from one thing to another. But again, to answer your question, you have to schedule few things in the time that you have, right? If you are a graduate, if you are a university student, you have to see when is your availability time. I'm sure there is nothing as that you have classes all days of the week or all days of the month, so there will be some leeway or flexibility in your arrangement. So find out and see where you can fit something outside your university activities or just studies. Because if you really want an IT job or a cybersecurity focused job, passing your graduation exams, or getting just graduation, getting through graduation may or may not be helpful directly. But if you start stepping outside your comfort zone and doing things that other students or your friends are not willing to do, that will help you stand out, because employers or hiring managers or recruiters will always keep you in mind, or at least recognize you once you start showing up. The consistency is showing up, doing things. It's not just one time thing. It's not just, okay, I'll do it every 2 months or I'll do it every 3 months. It has to be consistent. Yes, you may not be able to attend every single event, but at least make it a point to attend something or the other at some point, at least once in a month, right? And then start going back to your studies, and then combine what you learned at that event, see how you can relate, and then talk to people again. Use LinkedIn as your go to for everything. My change has been that I started using LinkedIn as if it is an Instagram for me,
Okay.
right?
That's good
Um,
too. Yeah.
yeah. So, and believe it or not, I used to open, and I still open LinkedIn almost maybe like minimum 20 to 30 times a day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Us in a day, minimum 20 times to 30 times. Yes, there is no notification for me, uh, but the habit of scrolling and seeing what's happening in the industry, what are people doing, what are people learning,
Staying
um,
connected.
staying connected. You never know who is willing to reach out to you, who is sending you a connection request, or who you are willing to connect. So just talk to people, see how they respond. You will not get appreciation, or you will not get connected to every single CEO or every single cybersecurity leader out there, because people are super extremely busy. But even if you manage to get hold of, let's say, one connection a day, that's 30 connections in a month, right? In that 30 connections, you should be able to have one or two coffee chats in a month. That one or two coffee chats should lead you somewhere in the following months. Again, it will not be an immediate result. It will not be an quick snap and you got that job. It takes consistency. It takes
It's
persistence.
an investment. I
It's
will
an
call it an
investment.
investment. Yeah.
Yes, it is an
Connection.
investment. That's exactly. It will take time.
Yeah.
You will start feeling frustration. You will start thinking, did am I doing the right thing? Am I doing a mistake here? Should I go back to another field where there are a lot of open jobs? That's what will happen to you. But if you have to stay focused, you have to be stay focused in that zone. Then you cannot be in multiple mindsets. Yes, you can try things out. If this doesn't work for you, okay, let me start doing this. Okay, this didn't work, okay, let me try that. Because if for me this work, it's not a given that this should work also for you. Different things will work out differently for different people. So certifications, talking to people, community events, volunteering. I have a friend on LinkedIn. He has a motto, and I kind of a believe in that, is you have to serve before you are willing to,
To
you
be
know,
served.
to be served.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Serve before you're served. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah.
try to see how you can put your experiences, your ambitions, your experiences, your skills to what you can, right? That will help you. That will at least get you noticed. Again, it may not be eminent that people will give you a role in your hands, but some people will start noticing you. So you
Yeah.
don't, again, to answer your question, you do not have to do that, but again, you will have to do that if you want to get that role badly.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I wish we could go on. Thank you very much. This has been very inspiring and eye-opening. And before we round up, just before we say goodbye, you mentioned something which I had wanted to ask you. You mentioned the word certifications.
Yeah.
Is it really necessary? Do people have to have it? What is the benefit? If you can just
Yeah, I'll keep this short. I know we are running out of time, but certifications are kind of necessary and also not necessary, if you want to see in both ways. Necessary because it will actually open up to the world of IT or cybersecurity as to what kind of areas are there for you to be an expert in the next few years. You will not become an expert immediately after taking just one certification. It all depends on where you are at in your journey. If you are somewhere in an intermediate or a managerial level, yes, you will get into a more experienced position because of that certification. And there is one thing I do not know if you are already aware, is the certification called CISSP. CISSP. You will hear a lot of things. You will read a lot of things about that certification being the gold standard for cybersecurity, but do not chase that, because it is not possible for that certification to be earned before you have 5 years of experience. But try something that is possible right now. For example, CompTIA Security Plus 1. B, there are a lot of free certifications from Cisco. You have networking certifications from them. You have IT help desk certifications from them. You have cybersecurity analyst certification from them. You have ISC Square, which is a cybersecurity nonprofit body. They have ISC Square CC. That's an entry level certification, and it is the same body that gives you that CISSP, if I'm not wrong. So it's not that you have to go for an advanced certification right away. So find your niche. Cybersecurity or IT is vast. See where your interest lies, and then start focusing your energy towards that certifications, right? So yeah, interest is the main thing.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Prabha. Thank you. I really appreciate you coming in to enlighten us and giving us all these tips, takeaways, join networking, invest in connections, try and reach out to people, learn to serve before you're waiting to be served. Those are all great tips that we believe, or that I believe, that job seekers, people looking for opportunities in this market, can take away with them. So thank you very much for coming. And for our listeners, my name is Joronke Show. I'm the host of this program, The Hired Heroes. We offer it through the Security Bench. And of course, on the bench today, we have Prabhav, who has shared his experience and how he landed his current roles. And we want to give the kudos to the associations and the communities where he met the contact. So we implore you to also do that. Hopefully, you'll be able to pivot, change your skill, change your career, or even net that first position. And with that, please, I invite you to join our next episode. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.